Hey guys, this is Lola, the shop dog. She's a American Staffordshire Terrier. Um, Essentially just a pit bull. She's a good little puppy. She's about 9 weeks old. About 9 weeks old right now. 8 to 9 weeks. Uh, her name is Lola, and we love her, don't we? Yes. You guys have shop dogs? If so, comment what kind. Say bye. Say bye. Say bye. Okay, so here's the door for the box. This is where the block that contains the key essentially will be able to slide freely back and forth so you can work the puzzle. On the inside of these, drawn a line for the 1/4 inch because that's the thickness of these pieces of wood. And they'll fit into that just like that to create a little better glue surface. Gonna chisel out. I started to draw the puzzle on this and realized that this wasn't the right piece. That's why that's there. But so this is what's going to be removed. This whole bit, this bit, and a little bit of the inside of this, and this one. And then these will just sit in there like so. They'll be glued down. And then while that's setting, we're going to work on either the top or the outside of the box. But there's so many different layers of this box that it allows you to continue to do something constantly. So while this glue's setting, we can be working on another part. After we get through with the other 2 layers of it, we can come back to this piece. The glue should be hardened in time to be able to get it in place and get it glued, get the next step going. The part that takes the longest on any of this is just letting this glue dry, because this isn't really a hard project. But anyway, so that's where we're at now. Use the square, and I like an ink pen. I know some people like pencils. I like an ink pen with a finer tip. That's what we use so far. We'll check back in just a few. To make these, this is the door, I guess you would call it, that the key slides back and forth in. We took and drew lines exactly where we knew it needed to be on this face in order to line up with the puzzle that is on the inside, the lid compartment. Then you just make sure your chisels are nice and sharp and you chisel it out. Like to start from the inside working out, and then you can just kind of shave along with the chisel to square it off and get it nice and smooth so that they slide back and forth. So here I am just setting the depth on the table saw. I'm getting ready to cut the length for this, and I didn't get to record actually cutting it because Jesse is chiseling out the keyholes that I showed you in the previous shot, and I needed both hands to cut this out. Had to go down and get one of our pieces of walnut for this box as it stands right now. This wood is 26 years old. Here I am cutting the rough lengths of the fascia board of this walnut. This walnut is some beautiful stuff. You'll see after it gets planed. I didn't get to get a shot of actually running it through the planer, but that's in my previous video if you want to go watch that planer. It's an awesome planer, but it's nothing special. We didn't get to do a couple shots just for sake of safety and trying to hurry and get this project done. This project was a last minute thing that popped up on the calendar. We had to cancel our days off just to get it done and out the door in time to make the customer happy. This was another Etsy order. Etsy has been great for us. We stayed pretty consistent since getting the store up and running with orders, and that's just Etsy. We're still working on our own website and our own retail location. So if you're an aspiring woodworker, I strongly suggest opening up your own Etsy store to get your name and products out there. If you want one of these limited boxes, this is limited supply of walnut. This 26-year-old walnut won't be around forever. We only have about another 50 board foot of it left. They're only $45. Go to www.etsy.com/shop/Crystal Marie Inc. Now that I've got these rough cut for the sides, I'm going to switch out the table saw for the miter so that I can cut nice square edges so these 2 boards turn into 4 boards. Okay, so now that we have the outside planed and cut rough length, this is just 4 sides, not the top and bottom. We'll worry about that when it comes time to finishing it. That'll be one of the last steps. And Jesse's got the piece that the key slides along. He's got that cut out. We're gonna get to working on the rabbets or recesses, whatever you want to call them, so that the inner edges can go ahead and be put in place and glued. Jesse's working on cutting the other side now. I'll go ahead and start working on clearing these. To do that, I used this scoring tool to gauge how thick the edge was, and then this is just a rough line. I'm going to go ahead and use this scoring gauge along the sides of it, roll it down it, so I have a definitive line the whole way, a knife line to go by. That way I'll know not to mess with the material that's on the inside of these lines at all. That way it sits nice and flush, the glue face lines up perfectly. So I'll go ahead and take care of that and we'll check back in. So we've got our saw angled at a 45 and we're gonna cut out these grooves now for the slide. And that's what moves the key to unlock the box. So let's get these cut out real quick. So now that we've got our 45s cut out of the faces of these boards, take and cut a block that's equal to the same thickness so that it doesn't get in the way of the lid opening and closing, and then you line it up with it inside of your door here so you know that it slides exactly how it needs to slide. Mark your lines for where it lines up at exactly, pull it out, lay it on top, clamp it down however you need to, and drill a hole through the center of this. Mark the center, drill a hole through the center into this. Make sure you don't come out of the face. Then you take your dowel rod down through that into the hole that you've drilled into the outside walnut here, and mark the length that you need it to be to fit in your puzzle and act as the key. And now we're going to take our saw here, cut it off, and then reconstruct it and glue it in place. I'll catch you in just a minute. Okay, so now that I've got our key cut out, I'm gonna take, if it'll balance, doesn't look like it's gonna balance, so take and slide this back in. Make sure that you line the grain up exactly how it was so that part of the beauty of it is still intact. Slide it down into place, flip it over, and if you're dead center, the hole should line up either side. There we go. Gonna apply just a little tight bond. Lay your block on it, get your dowel. And we're good. We're down here with Arian, my son, and the dog playing while Jesse and myself carve out the puzzles for this box. It's just a chiseling marathon down here. got the top piece done and together. It's held together with dowels. The inside and the outside of the box is done enough to where now Jesse can see if there's any little light sanding that needs to take place in order to get it to slide down in the box. It's important to do this now before you put the tops and the bottoms on, because if you get it wedged down in there and then can't get any force from the other side to push it back out, you might have to pull the box apart to get your puzzle piece out. And there it is. The puzzle's worked. Now he has to unwork the puzzle, get the top back out, and we have to put the top piece of walnut on the top here, and then cut the bottoms. Put the bottom piece on. We'll give it a good sanding once over to finish it, and then put a couple layers, polish it up with some tung oil. Other than that, this box is done. We whipped it. Alright, so it's Monday, and we got this order late Friday night. We hurried and got it done. Turns out really good. We put about 10 hours in on this, and the only thing we have left to do is to shave the bottom box, get it to the height that it's supposed to be, and put the bottom on. It's good. So here I am cutting the box to length, and just like with most of the stuff in this video, we were in a hurry this whole time. Like I said, the order came in late Friday night, so we were planning on taking the weekend off, but we had to get it done real quick to deliver on the order so we didn't lose it. Sometimes you got to do what you got to do. We took Monday off instead, and then we'll get back to work Tuesday. I didn't get to record cutting all 4 sides. I had to put the camera down after this side just for safety reasons. Okay, so now the box is done. The top's on. We labeled the sides because it comes with a note that explains the pattern on each side so that the owner doesn't have any, because it, you know, when it ships with the box closed. So we give them a note that explains the pattern on each side, makes it easier for them to open it. Bottom's fitted and on. There it is. Let's go put some tung oil on it. This is the tung oil that we use, Formby's Furniture Workshop, traditional tung oil. It's a low gloss. Just going to pour some on it, wipe it around with a cotton cloth, rub it in real good, let it dry, and then take some 300 plus grit sandpaper, pour a little bit more on, and then rub it in with that sandpaper. Let's see how it turns out. Here's the final product. We always like to tuck a note into one of the sides that has the directions.